What a great NXT. We had 4 title matches for one NXT. We had the men's tag team, we had the Speed, we had the women's NXT, and we had the men's North American. 4 title matches in one day. And out of those 4, we had 3 title changes. The Vanity Project took the titles from Dark State. Elio LaFleur won the Speed Championship off of Jasper Troy. And Miles Bourne defeated Ethan Page for the men's North American. What a wild day. So we had a lot happen. The show started with the men's tag team match, Dark State and the Vanity Project. Tony D, of course, came out at the end and assisted the Vanity Project a little bit. Not because he is for the Vanity Project, but he is very heavily against Dark State. He is still gunning for them. So he assisted them a little bit. The Vanity Project took the belts home, so they have those, and then Jackson Drake has the Men's Evolve Championship. So they are full of gold right now. And then for the Speed Championship, that one was interesting. I quite enjoyed the Triple Threat Speed Championship match. I don't know if it needed to be 7 minutes. I think they could have kept it at 5 to make it more intense and more interesting, but it was a very, very good match. Jasper Troy had the title, and then Elio LaFleur did take it from him. The only bad thing about that match was how much Booker complained about it. I don't know how many times he said that this ain't right. I think it was the time or something. I don't know. I got very annoyed with Booker in that. He was not happy with it, which is fine. I wish I would have kept track of how many times he said it, though. We also had a women's speed match to go against, I believe Fallon Henley is the speed champion on the women's side. So we are starting a little tournament for them to have a speed championship match over there. So we had the first match to start off that tournament. We had Blake Monroe versus Thea Hale, a little rematch from the whole North American title debacle. But Jada Parker came in and attacked Blake Monroe. So that feud's still going, which I'm actually interested in that feud. I think that'll be a really good one. So she need her, and then Thea Hale ended up winning, so she will move on in the speed tournament. And Blake and Jada will still have their thing going on. And then the talk of the night. Finally, Zarya turned on Soul. Not where you would expect her to turn. The match was just getting started. Right after the announcer announced both competitors, Zarya speared Soul. So the match didn't even get started. It was before the bell even rung. Zarya speared her, then the bell finally rung, and then JC was just able to pin Soul, and JC retained. And then Zarya kept going, and oh my gosh. What she said, and then a little kiss on the forehead. If you know, you know. I'm very excited. Some people were thinking that Soul was going to end up being the one to turn. I feel like Zarya is pretty justified in this. So she also has a title match next week against JC. I just hope Soul doesn't interfere there. She's probably going to, but I don't want the back and forth and back and forth. But she will probably interfere somehow, or at least try. It would be very interesting if Soul tried to interfere, but Zarya still won maybe, or wasn't the reason why she lost, if that makes sense. Like, Soul's not the reason why she lost, but I don't know how they're going to play it out. I really don't. I only assume Soul's going to be called up very soon to the main roster. It could be a while. It could be after WrestleMania, because I'm assuming Soul might get a rematch with JC. Unless Zarya wins, then maybe it'll be those two going for the title. But she'll get some kind of rematch or some kind of closure with her and Zarya. I doubt they're going to leave it here where Zarya just turns on her, costs her the title, and then Soul disappears. Hopefully there is some kind of closure there, whether it's a rematch or just a title match because Zarya beats JC next week. We'll find out, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited that it finally happened. It was starting to get drawn out a little bit too long, this whole storyline. Some people were asking me if I don't like long-term storytelling, and it's not that I don't, it's just some things don't need to be drug out that long. Not every story needs to be months and months long, right? And this was one of them. It's just like, they were teasing this for a long time. It's the same with Judgment Day, even though that one's way worse. It's just some things, there's a line, right? And this was bordering that line of being like, okay, either do something or don't. It's starting to not be as exciting. But it's finally done. It was done so good. And I loved it. I am ready for heel Zarya. Funniest moment, it's going to go to Ricky and Ethan. They had a backstage segment, and then the Vanity Project came back. I don't remember what was said, but Ethan and Ricky, They need to pair up, especially since Ethan lost the North American title. So Ricky is still gunning for Joe Hendry for his NXT championship. He wants to be the next 2-time champion, but Ethan Page just lost his. So maybe something could happen between those two. Unless Ethan Page gets called up to the main roster, which he's beyond ready for. I don't know if he wants to go to the main roster, but I would not hate if him and Ricky teamed up and they had like this group of like losing their championships and trying to get them back. And then I don't know. I just love those two together. So I'm wishful thinking at this point. They're fantastic. The match of the night, it's going to be Miles Bourne and Ethan Page. That was a wonderful match. It was the main event, and it just felt like such a passionate one. Like they both wanted it so bad, especially Miles. Miles has been kind of heelish lately. I don't think he's fully turning heel, but this whole feud with Ethan, like he was getting serious. He was getting pretty aggressive. However, he finally has the belt, so I don't know if he's going to continue this aggression. I'm assuming Ethan's going to get a rematch. There's going to be an elongation of this feud a little bit. So I don't know if Miles is going to continue down the path of like heely, but staying face. So maybe like an in-between tweener, if you will. I kind of like that Ethan Page lost the belt. I'm very torn because Ethan's character and him with that belt, he's so good. He is so good and so underappreciated. I love when wrestlers just understand and get their character, where everything they do, it's so fluid and makes sense, and it doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel, for the lack of a better word, fake, you know? Like, Ethan Page is Ethan Page. Whereas sometimes it can feel a little, not believable, I think is a better term. Like, it just doesn't feel believable. But it does with Ethan Page. Performance of the night is going to go to Zarya. You could just feel it. You could feel, like, the anger and the resentment and the just being fed up. Just done. Done here, now. Over it. You deserve this. I'm gonna go get what I deserve. With her and JC in the backstage of her like saying you are welcome, JC thinking she did it all herself and what Zarya did didn't matter. But Zarya demanding that she gets a title shot, and she got it, and I'm here for it. A couple other things that also happened. Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame kind of had a promo in the crowd talking to each other. The feud's still very much alive with that one. And then we are also getting an underground match between Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, which I was told that Lola Vice has never lost an underground match. So that should be good. Another great week of NXT. I wish we would see more title changes, especially on the main roster. Maybe not with like the big titles, but I feel like the United States Championship belt could be, passed around a little bit more, even the Intercontinental belts. I don't know. I just feel like with the main roster, very rarely do we get just a title change on a random episode. It's usually a PLE, and then that's when it starts to get very predictable. It's a PLE, it's probably going to be a title change. Or, it's their hometown, probably not going to be a title change. I just wish they would grow some balls. That seems really harsh. I just wish they would have that audacity to just title change, random Monday. Even with the big ones. I don't know, just keep it exciting. The 4 title matches was excessive. It was still exciting and I still loved it, but it doesn't even need to be that many. And 3 title changes was pretty crazy as well. Again, main roster, it doesn't need to be that many, just every once in a while. More often than it happens now, please, but just, I don't know, something. I feel like we're always waiting for a big PLE or WrestleMania for title changes or for something big to happen. And that can really make the year drag on and just the episodes just feel real sluggish. And I don't know. I just want something more to look forward to, I guess. I don't know. But it was a great week of NXT. I enjoyed every second. And yeah, we're going to see where Zarya goes. We're going to see where Ethan Page goes. And I'm still very excited about NXT. They're still doing a wonderful job. As always, let me know what you thought of the show down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one.